Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. 9-star level 9 stages, 1-star level 2 stage. Luo Feng looked at his screen, softly saying, this little team, arranged for too many star level 9 stage warriors. The weaker one, I estimate he is probably the one with status, hence he brought so many underlings with him. Participating in the Universe Mercenary Trainee Test, this was extremely normal. One had to know 99% of the strong had all experienced this. Several large family heirs regarded this trainee mercenary exam as necessary, but for safety, they sent along a large group of star level 9 stage warriors. This was very normal. Even though the family insists on training their heirs, over the long periods of times, several rules and methods of teachings warped and resulted in the original intended motive being far from what it was. 9-star level 9 stages, they can definitely deal with the 21 horned iron rhinos. Hong said softly, damn, after waiting for so long, they get snatched away by some pampered heir. Thunder God cursed softly. It was displeasing. But against 9-star level 9 stage warriors, with proper preparation and coordination, what could their own little team do? They could only watch stupidly by the side. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. Something good is coming. Something good? Thunder God looked suspiciously at Luo Feng. What good is there? We might be able to get our horns. Luo Feng looked anxiously at the distance. Kill all of them and collect all the horns, then we'll leave immediately. The white-skinned youth, wielding a long and narrow battle blade, was currently engaged in battle with the smallest built horned iron rhino. This little horned iron rhino's strength was only about a star level 1, he could indeed handle it without a problem, yes. The group of star level 9 warriors immediately complied. Fresh blood splattered all over. Raging howls and roars resounded. Beast after beast shook the earth as they fell to the ground. This group of horned iron rhinos' strongest was only about a star level 9, the others were all weaker. Against 9-star level 9 humans, they definitely were disadvantaged, losing more and more of their fellow beasts. Rumble, the earth shook violently. Howl. An enraged roar resounded from the forests. The earth began to tremble violently. The remaining 5 horned iron rhinos immediately roared excitedly. From not far off, a huge horned iron rhino's silhouette appeared. Not good, let's leave quickly. One of the 9 black-clothed underlings shouted, Lord, over 50 single horned rhinos are rushing over, the leading few are all very powerful, let's leave. Quickly, protect the 9th prince well. Quickly. Immediately, one of the 9 black-clothed underlings hugged the 9th prince, stepping on a streamlined huge blade-like flying spirit weapon and escaped swiftly. And the other 8 underlings fled swiftly behind, seeing the remaining horned iron rhinos madly rushing at them. Roar. Roar? Large numbers of enormous horned iron rhinos rushed out, every one of them eyes scarlet, seemingly mad with rage. Over 50 horned iron rhinos, obviously these were the mature males from the horned iron rhino herd, each madly stomping through the land of the forests, madly chasing after the group of black-clothed men. Luo Feng's team of 5 looked at the majestic group of horned iron rhinos madly chasing after the elite team, leaving behind the bodies of the remaining horned iron rhinos. Quickly. Luo Feng led the way and rushed out. Ha ha, we got it so easily. Which empire is that 9th prince from? A basic level empire or from the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? I think he's from a family that probably only controls 1 or 2 basic level empires. Thunder God muttered. The group swiftly headed over the bodies of the Falay horned iron rhinos. Even though the group of black-clothed men had chopped off 10 horns, there were still 6 bodies with their horns intact. The soaring shuttle became a golden swordfish, immediately chopping off one of the horns from the forehead of a dead rhino. Hong, Thunder God, Tainan He and Aogu2 swiftly cut off and obtained their horns. Roar. From the distance, among the group of rhinos chasing down the black-clothed men, there was one that turned and stared at Luo Feng's group, letting out an enraged howl. Immediately, over 20 horned iron rhinos turned and rushed madly towards them. Against the same race of humans that had killed so many of their fellow beasts, they were filled with hatred. Hurry. Luo Feng urged. Luo Feng, about 12 kilometers away, a team of humans that were originally waiting by the river is approaching you very swiftly. I think they want to kill you all. Barbata warned Luo Feng in his mind. Luo Feng swiftly moved all the horned iron rhino's horns into his storage space, and quickly used his spiritual force to say, let's leave quickly, there's a little team behind us coming to kill us. What? Hong and Thunder God were shocked. They didn't have any time to hesitate. The 5 immediately flew into the forest beside, leaving behind the huge bodies of the horned iron rhinos. 12 kilometers to a star level. If it were in the outside world, they could breeze through it within a second. Even within this sector lord's world, with their speed slowed, it still didn't take too much time within the forest. Luo Feng, who was standing on the soaring shuttle, flipped his hand and a shield along with an alloy battle knife appeared. He was even wearing a normal alloy battle uniform. Alloy battle uniforms, battle blades, even though they weren't expensive, this was mainly because they didn't have any amplitude abilities. However, in terms of material, they were incredibly sturdy and reached up to D grade. D grade alloys, if it were a universe ship, it would be extremely expensive. However, the battle knife, uniform, shield and other such items were very cheap. A blood-red helmet grew swiftly on Luo Feng's head. This was from the Cloud Contact Vine. Hand-wielding a six-corner shield, alloy battle knife, the metal uniform wrapped around Luo Feng's body reflected the cold. At first glance, it looked almost like a fur clothing. His entire person was fast as lightning, swiftly escaping, anxious and worried within. Barbata, how is the strength level of that team? 7-star level 9 stages, 1-star level 2 and 1-star level 3. Barbata said, bastards. Luo Feng cursed under his breath, their speed is very fast, they are closing the distance, 2.8 km, 2.6 km. Barbata continuously updated Luo Feng, there are 7-star level 9 warriors behind us. Luo Feng used his spirit reading to inform Hong, Thunder God, Aogu, and Tai Nan He, that's big trouble. Hong and they others felt the pressure. At the time, the team chasing to kill them from behind was constantly closing the distance slowly became not even 1 kilometer. With a face like a blade, skin sparkling and translucent, just like precious stones, one could even see the veins below his skin. His eyes squinted, laughing like an innocent youth. He was dressed in a fur-clothed like raw energy battle uniform, carrying on his back a huge battle knife that was almost as big as him. He was currently being pulled by his partner beside, using his spirit weapon to swiftly chase. He looked down at his quantum computer on his arm, 2-star level 9 warriors along with 3-star level 1 and 2 stages. HMPH. 2 weak. 600 meter, 500 meter, 400 meter, he constantly calculated the distance. He could already see the little team flying ahead of him. The other 8 members, many were wearing goggles. These goggles also had a screen effect, constantly flickering with numbers around them. He gave off an order, yes. 7 out of the 8 members all complied. The group swiftly separated, surrounding Luo Feng's team of 5. Luo Feng's team stopped as they looked at the 9 that had surrounded them. This was still within the forest of the Long Suo mountain range. Around them were many large trees. On the branches of the trees above there were even some scratch marks from ferocious beasts before. Such solid and strong trees were rarely seen in the universe. Because of this, people couldn't help but to compliment this sector lord's work. Who's the head? The youth who led the 9 shouted, his gaze however staring at Luo Feng, Hong, Thunder God, sweeping through the 3 of them. It was very obvious, participating in the mercenary training exams, most would arrange for stronger warriors to protect their more important younger members. The weak ones are usually the ones giving the orders. It's me. Luo Feng stared at the youth before him. Who are you all? What do you want? Ha ha, your question is really stupid. Don't you even know what we want? The youth laughed, eyes seemingly arrogant and condescending, as though he was looking at a beggar. Punk, hand over the 6 horns from the horned iron rhinos and we can spare your lives. If you don't. The youth laughed coldly. Luo Feng looked at the group surrounding them. The screen on his arm began to display large amounts of numbers. Why are we bothering to talk with them? Just kill them. A young lady beside the youth dressed in a black battle uniform said coldly. The youth thought to himself, this idiot, can't she see that the enemy also has 2-star level 9 stages? Even though we can win, however, if we really fight it out and the enemy risks it all, even if we can kill them, we might lose some of our people too. If we can acquire the horns without anyone dying, isn't that better? My partner is impatient already. The youth's gaze swept past Luo Feng's team. Better give an answer now. Being surrounded. Luo Feng and his team, Tai Nan He and Aogu naturally looked at their master Luo Feng. Hong, Thunder God too naturally exchanged glances with Luo Feng, horned iron rhino's horn. Luo Feng flipped his hand, a horn appeared in his hand, looking at the youth before him. A horn? We'll give you 1. 6 of them. Not 1 less. The youth said coldly. The other 8 stared at Luo Feng's team. They had all seen earlier 21 horned iron rhinos drinking by the lakeside, of which 16 died and 10 of the horns were taken by the earlier group, hence they were very sure that this yellow-skinned black-haired man's team had taken away 6 horns. Black-haired punk. The young lady beside shouted, we are from 100 Tiger Building, hurry and hand over the horns, otherwise. 100 Tiger Building? One of the 4 big organizations of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire? Coming from 100 Tiger Building, it meant that this group were well trained, at least in battle prowess. They were definitely powerful. Are you going to hand them over or not? The youth too seemed impatient now. Don't waste your time speaking anymore, the lady urged. Luo Feng and his team, who were surrounded in by the group, felt immense pressure. Luo Feng could feel too that this group were losing their patience. Aogu. Luo Feng used his spirit reading to speak. Master. The old Aogu replied, the moment we make a move, follow the plan I told you before we entered this sector lord's world. Do you know what to do? Understood. Aogu replied. Luo Feng surveyed the group from 100 Tiger Building coldly, gazing past the star level 9 stages with goggles and finally stopping at the young couple. The horns will at most give you 1. If you're still not satisfied, let me warn you, there'll be no turning back from certain actions. Threatening me? The youth laughed coldly. The young lady turned and exchanged glances with the youth. The two almost simultaneously retreated. Rumble. Rumble. Except for 1 star level 9 protecting the 2 of them, the other 6 exploded together. And within that instant of which they exploded, Aogu, who was standing beside Luo Feng, gazed coldly. Sure. A blue shard appeared from nowhere. Aogu's spirit reading seemed like a hand that grabbed it, grabbing it hard by its body, revealing a blade. This blade seemed to have a hint of a little red. Yes. This was the newly camouflaged hybrid copper essence shard that was covered with a layer of alloy, only the sharp tip wasn't covered. This move was Luo Feng's current ultimate move. Allowing his strongest spirit reader slave Aogu to use the hybrid copper essence shard, with its sharpness and Aogu's control, even universe levels would be hurt. The blue knife blade became a beam of light, flashing towards the oncoming star level 9 enemies. Master, be careful, it's a spirit reader's attack. Aogu, who had released his spirit energy earlier, warned. He was using half of his spirit energy to control the hybrid copper essence and the other half on defense. This was because Luo Feng, Hong and Thunder God's soul defense couldn't withstand a soul attack of a star level 9 spirit reader. Aogu blocked 3 spirit attacks. The blue knife blade easily flew through star level 9 warriors after another. With its absurd speed and sharpness, the serious-looking and fully confident fighters, spirit readers with goggles, all lost their heads, the top of them being sliced off and flying all over. They died one by one, with their eyes behind their goggles filled with fear. That's not possible. The not-too-distant couple watching the battle, who were very confident before, looked on with shocked expressions and wide eyes. Star level 9 stage warriors. They were defeated even without a fight? They didn't know just how terrifying the spirit weapon and its level of sharpness was. When the Yunmo planet ship sped up, whatever rocks, little stars could be immediately smashed through, even a small star could be easily sliced right through. Against the oncoming rush of the Yunmo planet, its piercing and sharpness was terrifying. Even Sector Lord warriors under the speeding Yunmo planet ship, its sharpness could easily cut right through them. Escape. The youth gave an order to the underling beside him, a star level 9 spirit reader. The underling quickly took the youth and the young lady. Leave her, quickly. The youth gave the order, yes. In terms of position, the young lady was lower than the youth by a little. Also, this bodyguard was clear. The enemy spirit reader, if sped up, he wouldn't be able to escape them carrying 2 people. Who? The bodyguard took the youth, stepped on the spirit weapon and swiftly became a beam of light as he escaped. Wait for me. The young lady's face revealed defeat. She turned her head, seeing the blue light that had killed the 6-star level 9 warriors flying towards her. The young lady panicked, her eyes filled with venomous hatred. Cho Yu. Her head exploded open. Within the blink of an eye, 6-star level 9 warriors, including 100 Tiger Building elite youth, were all killed. And that Cho Yu youth and his bodyguard had escaped way out of sight. Stop chasing. Luo Feng said, yes, master. Aogu and Tai Nan, he said respectfully. Luo Feng immediately put the hybrid copper essence back into the storage ring. If he really wanted to chase after those 2, he'd have to let Aogu go take off by himself and chase. And Aogu couldn't bring anyone along. If he did, he wouldn't be able to catch up. If that happened, with only Luo Feng and the other 3 left behind, it was very unsafe within the Long Suo mountain range. Also, Luo Feng couldn't possibly allow Aogu to take the hybrid copper essence shard far away with him to chase and kill the other 2. Barbata, is it fine for us to let them escape? Luo Feng asked mentally. No problem. They have no clue about your identity or news about you. Even if they knew, you don't have a fixed residence. Even if you return to Earth. What is there to be afraid of? Barbata couldn't care much about it. It's akin to bare feet not being afraid of people who wear shoes. Right now, you are barefooted. Canlan Star, within the Sector Lord's world. Luofeng and his group of 5 were swiftly cleaning up the battle remains. Ha ha, truly a young elite from the 100 Tiger building. This little lady actually uses an AI quantum computer. I don't have to buy one anymore, I'll just use this. Thunder God was very satisfied. Luofeng was using something that exceeded the AI, living AI. Hong used an AI quantum computer and Thunder God was only using a normal quantum computer. There's even a storage ring. And spirit weapon. These 6-star level 9 warriors combined together don't even add up to her treasures. Tainan he made a move and swiftly collected every treasure that was valuable. Among the 6-star level 9 warriors, there were 3 spirit readers and 3 fighters. However, their standards were close to the Nuolan Shan guards, hence they were only at the bottom of the 100 Tiger building, sent just to help protect the 2 elites this time. AOGU, this flying spirit weapon will be yours. Tainan he, you can take whichever genetic weapon you like. This storage ring. Luofeng's gaze swept past Thunder God, AOGU, Tainan he and Hong. Thunder God suddenly shouted, let me look at this storage ring, the one I'm using is the smallest capacity. Among the group, Luofeng and Hong already had their own storage rings. Thunder God had to buy his. He bought the smallest one. Ha ha, it's really bigger than what I have. Thunder God was very satisfied. Thunder God, Tainan he and AOGU reorganized and prepared, after which the group swiftly left the scene of battle, arriving 1,000 miles away below a mountain before stopping. The next step, we should go look for the Wind Corner Stone. Luofeng looked at the group. The Wind Corner Stone can only be found in one place of the Sector Lord's world, right at the very core of the world of thunder, the Valley of Wind and Thunder. Hong looked at the screen on his arm, gently tapping and looking. From here to Valley of Wind and Thunder, the distance is over 300,000 kilometers. Even if all goes well along the way, it'd still take about a month to get there. 300,000 kilometers. Within the Sector Lord's world, 1 was that the gravity was extremely strong, 2, Luofeng and his group couldn't fly up high, hence they had to rely on Barbata's security surveillance. If everything went smoothly, they were able to travel about 10,000 kilometers a day. It would still take about a month. The horned iron rhino herds can be found living in several places of this world, but they are all far from the core territory. No matter where we go to hunt the horned iron rhino, we'd still finally have to head towards the Valley of Wind and Thunder. Thunder God creased his eyebrows. This Universe Mercenary Alliance arranged this mission obviously to make us explore at least half of the Sector Lord's world. Within the Sector Lord's world, there were many natural disasters and risks. Traveling through half of the world, one would definitely encounter many life or death situations. Even with the surveillance system, it wasn't much use towards natural disasters. This is training, experience, and elimination. Luofeng shook his head. The Universe Mercenary Alliance wants to eliminate the group of people who are unfit for them. If they can't even pass through this, they wouldn't have the right at all in the future to roam the dangerous universe. Agreed. Hong nodded. From where we are right now, heading to the Sector Lord's world core, the Valley and Wind and Thunder, there are 3 routes. Everybody take a look. Which should we take? These 3 routes, Thunder God looked at the map on the screen, are all pretty dangerous. The first route, Luofeng said. The first route has many ferocious beasts' territories. Naturally the threats were lesser. Of course, this was only in comparison to the other 2 routes. Alright, the first route. Hong nodded. Then let's depart. Thunder God said. Luofeng and his group began rushing through their longest trek within the Sector Lord's world. They didn't dare to fly in mid-air, that would simply attract all the ferocious beasts. Suicide. The Sector Lord's world was heaven as well as hell. An unexcavated Sector Lord's world, for too many explorers and mercenaries, was a huge treasure heaven. At the same time, it was filled with dangers. The moment one was not careful, one could lose his life. However, there would still be a large number of explorers and universe mercenaries entering. And this world of thunder was excavated long ago. Right now it was specially used as a tool for the trainee mercenary exams. Bastard. Beside a thorny undergrowth within the Long Suo mountain range, Cho Yu was single-handedly carrying his huge battle blade, gritting his teeth. The moment he thought of his female counterpart's venomous voice from before, the scene of the beautiful blue shard piercing and slicing through the star level 9 warriors, Cho Yu was extremely shocked and enraged. His entire body couldn't help but tremble from the rage. This was his first time entering a Sector Lord's world. He was known before as a genius. Along with other geniuses, he was nurtured and trained by the 100 Tiger building, having a solid foundation. While the nurturing was tedious, it didn't have any dangers to his life. This time, however, I almost died. Cho Yu's heart shuddered within. He had had so much hopes and dreams for the future. He had killed many before too. However, when he actually faced death itself, he realized just how much he was afraid of death. The military instructor said fear isn't bad, but one has to absolutely remain calm. Fear is a form of energy, an energy able to make the body evolve. Relax, calm down. Cho Yu gradually calmed down, looking at the bodyguard beside him, ordering him, help me secure my surroundings, I'm entering the virtual universe network. Yes. The bodyguard respectfully complied. The 100 Tiger Building had an order towards all the young elites entering the Sector Lord's world to take part in these exams. They had to send a message to their supervisor every day via the virtual universe network. If their comrades died, the mail had to explain such matters too. As long as they sent that mail, it meant that the member was still alive. Within the virtual universe network, Black Dragon Mountain Island. A fat man with 2 horns on his head lay on a chair. A screen appeared before him. DI? A message appeared on the screen, another message of a report on being alive. Open it. The fat man said slowly. The mail opened automatically. The fat man looked through it slowly. However, after a while he stood up suddenly, shocked as he stared at the mail. The 8th team actually only has 2 people alive. And they've lost the second elite? The fat man quickly sent a message request to the other 7 members of the 8th team. As expected, no one replied. Usually, the young geniuses are prepped with bodyguards depending on their own level of importance. For example, a team of 10 usually has 5 youths and 5 bodyguards. And some teams only have 1 youth and 9 bodyguards. This 8th team originally had 8 bodyguards and 2 youths. They had lost 1 bodyguard earlier. Obviously, the 8th team was an important team. To the 100 Tiger Building, the loss of level 3 elites would be more painful, the loss of level 2 elites would be even more painful. And the loss of level 1 elites, that was simply devastating. As for the special elites, even the 100 Tiger Building rarely got one. Those absolute geniuses were rarely ever acquired. Within the universe space, the fat man opened his eyes and looked out through the external simulator, looking at the huge objects in the distant space. Since we are almost at the headquarters, I'll personally deliver this report. That huge object was a planet. Correctly speaking, it was an alloy-made object that was made to model a planet. This was the 100 Tiger Building's headquarters, Black Tiger Star. This Black Tiger Star was basically a huge planet fort. Its entire body was black, on it were deep passages and alleys, connecting straight into the planet's interior. And the surface of it was a thick and bulky cannon that was capable of blowing up a D-grade universe ship in one shot, along with other magnetic orbit cannons, large laser cannons, etc. These type of weapons. The entire planet had several spots where there were occasional flashes of blue light. Ship after ship covered the land and skies, almost like the countless locusts. Occasionally large amounts of them flew through the deep alleys into the planet's interior. Also occasionally large amounts of universe ships would fly out from there. These ships, with a brief look, seemed like the lowest grade was a C-grade, even D-grade ships. One could even spot an E-grade ship once in a while. They covered the land and skies, almost like locusts. And this planet fort was such an enormous object, it seemed like it swallowed these large amount of ships. Over here, this was one of the 4 huge organizations of the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, the headquarters of the 100 Tiger Building. There were many sector lords that had been stationed here for many years. The entire planet used to be a very normal mineral planet and spent heavenly amounts of money and wealth to change it into the fort it was. A planet fort. The fat man sat in the universe ship, following the planet fort's pulling signal. It followed one of the Black Tiger Star's surface many deep alleys and flew in. From space, these alleys seemed small and nothing impressive. However, when one flew close to it, he would realize that every alley was more than 100 kilometers wide. The universe ship entered the deep alley. Oh, the new installation is ready. The fat man looked carefully at the 2 sides of the walls within the alley. The walls seemed to have a few more black alloy frames that were like centipedes, embedded into the walls themselves. Within a moment, the universe ship docked at the docking bay. The fat man, dressed in a blue robe, followed a spacious pathway that had skies and clouds simulated on both sides. With a glance, this pathway alone had more than 100 people. Everyone seemed to be dressed in blue robes. Only 2 of them were dressed in white robes, and on their chest were 2-star mercenary medals. I greet the Lord. Passing by the white-robed men, the fat man bowed. Everyone within the pathway did the same. In 100 Tiger Building, the blue robe meant universe level, along with several important people with status. The fat man was a star level, but because his position was big, he had the right to wear the blue robe. The white robe meant domain lord and the lesser upper echelons. A black robe meant a sector lord. As for the undying beings, even though the 100 Tiger building had produced undying before in its history, these undying beings had long gone to the Ganwu Empire or to other places. To the undying beings, the Black Dragon Mountain Empire, this little pond couldn't hold them. No matter, the 100 Tiger building, Black Cloud Guild, the Northern Dragon City, the Three Axe Mountain, these four large universe organizations were considered enormous powers within the Black Dragon Mountain Empire. Their roots went deep, and the universe-level warriors under them were plenty. Even the Empire Emperor wouldn't willingly mess with these groups. Just looking at the 100 Tiger building's main headquarters with its countless universe ships, that alone was enough proof of its power. After almost 4 hours later, "Stop," spoke Luo Feng telepathically. The five of them stopped at the same time. Even Hong and Thunder God listened to Luo Feng's commands in the world of thunder, because they knew Luo Feng had a special sensor that could detect all danger within a certain radius. Tai na he aogu, you two take turns being on guard. My brothers and I will rest first, said Luo Feng. Yes, master. The two of them replied respectfully. Luo Feng surveyed his surroundings. It was currently night time and weeds were everywhere, so the naked eye could barely see anything. We were lucky today, didn't encounter much danger. Thunder God let out a smile. Right now, we can finally let out a breath. I was also afraid something like yesterday would happen again. Hong also let out a sigh of relief. Luo Feng couldn't help but to recall the scenes from yesterday. He was still a bit frightened. Yesterday, his squad was moving forward according to their normal path. Originally, his squad had a relaxing time following the path that people used in the past. Suddenly, 5 monsters were discovered charging at his squad 18 kilometers away. It was clear that they clearly discovered his squad a long time ago. If there is nothing to obstruct their vision, it is normal for star-level fighters to see past a distance of over 100 kilometers. It actually isn't too difficult to escape from those 5 monsters, since weeds were everywhere. However, maybe one of those monsters had an extraordinary nose, so they just kept chasing. While they chased, they even roared over and over again, which attracted the attention of the other monsters on the plains. Originally 5 monsters, over 100 monsters ended up chasing after his squad. Finally, with AOGU combined with the hybrid copper shard, and the 2 liquid silver guards, their squad did everything they could to escape. We were lucky yesterday, sighed Luo Feng. If that black-ringed snake horde appeared earlier and worked together with those hundreds of monsters to surround us, we probably wouldn't have been able to escape. Black-ringed snake horde. Thunder God glared. Don't remind me. Whenever I think of yesterday I get a bit scared. Yesterday was the worst day we had in the world of thunder. Use your time wisely and train, commanded Hong. There are very few opportunities to train in the world of thunder. Okay, all right, Luo Feng and Thunder God spoke no more and then closed their eyes to train. Luo Feng was quite pleased with his days of training in the world of thunder. Even though some accidents have occurred on their journey and all of them almost ended up getting killed several times. This kind of pressure caused them to improve very rapidly in the past 36 days. Maybe it's because the world of thunder is packed with the universe energy essence, causing them to train faster. Or maybe it's because of the evolution catalyst they received from the virtual universe. Anyway, 36 days, along with the days of them rushing from Bailan Star to Dragon Star, and then from Dragon Star to Kanlan Star, in these 2 months, Luo Feng was able to step into the Star Level 2 stage from the Star Level 2 stage. This is simply an improvement of the body itself. The biggest improvement is his progress he made with the soaring shuttle and Soul Seal Luo Feng's personal virtual space. On top of a huge mountain that entered the clouds, Luo Feng appeared in a white robe. Beside him was a blood-red castle erected on the top of the mountain. The castle doors opened. Master, the 18 rock golems respectfully yelled. While Luo Feng's consciousness was in the virtual space reading the Soul Seal training manual and training the first offensive Soul Seal technique, the 10,000 blade Soul Seal, his other body, the golden horned beast, completely delved into its training of absolute realm, inner world. On the Golden Continent, the golden horned beast that was as large as a mountain range continued to cast the absolute realm technique. There was a sliver of dissatisfaction in those dark golden eyes. After so long, I can't even finish the first stage of absolute realm. What's going on? In the world of thunder, the pressure seemed to raise Luo Feng's comprehension skills quite a bit. He also made a bit of progress on absolute realm. However, he was still very far away from completing the first stage of absolute realm. The golden horned beast let out a roar of anger. As of now, its current body length exceeded 900 meters. Indeed, after consuming the alloy combinations that lead to 89 times efficiency for over 3 months, it's as if the Golden Horned Beast has normally evolved for 22 years. It already entered the Star Level 9 stage from the Star Level 7 stage. A Golden Horned Beast at the Star Level 9 stage. Only one step away until the Universe level. And this single step is the hardest step in the entire Star Level transformation. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.